Hi everyone, this is Chinmay here from Exploring Sports. Today we have Mr. Abhishek with us sharing his journey and knowledge of sports aging. And I hope you guys will have great fun with our chats. How was your journey like to be a sports agent in India?
Oh, yes, of course. Uh, to be really honest, I've always been a sportsman in school and in college, and that was my experience. I always loved sports and extracurricular activities. I wasn't one of the more gifted sort of football players. I was just very average. But I played hockey really well. I played cricket really well. All the outdoor sports. So I was pretty good at it. So I came across an opportunity while I was doing my college in Bangalore, um, and that's when I happened to work in the line of sports as an intern. I was quite young, and I worked as an intern, and from there, I think the path for me had started unknowingly. So it was very unknowingly. I was doing my business management and for my graduation, and the opportunity in sports just came across, and I did one internship. I found it really cool. I worked in the IPL. I was 18, 19 years old, and I was pretty excited and pumped, and I would look forward to it. So it was more for me like the experience was very grand because it was the Indian Premier League, and I love cricket. And with it I was getting paid to do what I was doing, and I think that's where it started. Only towards the end of my college where I thought about, okay, why don't I pursue a career in sports management? If not event management, it was more related to sports. And I had come across someone really interesting. This lady who would travel from Australia from the IMG, and in a casual conversation, she happened to tell me, why don't you do sports management as your master? And I was quite taken aback. I was like, there is a course called sports management, and you can do your masters in it. Because because earlier, 6 to 8 years back, there was nothing like that. There was nothing like sports management. So I went back home. I googled and figured out where I can do what, and then I decided to do my masters. So so that was where I understood that in the sports industry is like an umbrella. So that was where I thought, sports agent is something in the line of working with athletes is something that I really want to do, and maybe I can be good at it because the one-to-one understanding between a player and an agent is the biggest, what do I say, the biggest synergy between the two of them. The biggest alignment that you can find to get the thought process right. And I thought, man management and understanding the other person, I was pretty good at it. It's not something that I worked on it, but it naturally came to me, to understanding people and players and friends and things like that. And I thought I'll be a sports agent, and that's how it started. So in 2014, I had actually, my first player that I ever signed was, I was doing my masters, no clue about how to compete with the big guys or who to sign or what to do. Why would someone sign with me?
Yeah,
I signed a freestyle football player, the freestylist
yeah,
football player,
yeah. I know, I know.
and I happened to sign him. So that's how it was. I was young. I was very excited. I didn't even know a lot of things. I didn't know contracts really well, and just to my luck that I got involved, and I signed a freestyle football player, and I said, okay, let's see whatever happens. Yeah, that's how it started.
That's really great. I heard you saying that you naturally have that strength, and it's really important for anyone getting into industry to know and work on their strength. That really helps
Correct.
to grow, I feel.
Correct.
Yeah, I know that you have done a legal course in sports. So, uh, what do you think that a person who is getting into sports Asian field should have a legal knowledge or should be a lawyer for that sake?
Legal knowledge in any aspect is very good for you. It's like an added tool and an added advantage if you can understand the legal language, the contract, legal terms for you to when you're working with a player or a brand or things like that. Fortunately for me, again, I have a very interesting story why I chose to be a player agent and understand law and all of this. While I was doing my masters, I had come across this book called What They Don't Teach You in Harvard Business School. Okay.
Yeah, I know that.
Yes, and it's written by Mark McCormack, and he has another book called Selling. So I read these two books. I'm also in general I'm a very optimistic person. So I read these two books. I got pretty excited. I said, "Wow, who is this guy?" And the way I think he was charismatic. The way he spoke, the way he dealt with situations that I would read in the book. So I said, okay, let me do some reading on who is this guy. Then I get to know that he's the former and the chairman of International Media Group. He's from the IMG, and he revolutionized golf. Golf was very different, and he changed golf overall. And he was a lawyer, so that's when it started ticking and knowing that अभी तो मैं मास्टर्स कर रहा हूँ मैं लीगली आई विल अंडरस्टैंड कॉन्ट्रैक्ट्स but I think in the long term I'm going to do a course in sports law, um, to just get a better understanding and get more used to the legal language and things like that. So if you are a lawyer who turns into an agent, and if you're good with law, but if you're also good with understanding a one-on-one athlete, understanding the sport, understanding the value that the athlete can bring, then it works out perfectly. Because see what's happening in India currently is every second lawyer who's finished sports law wants to go that route. So they are like, I'm a sports lawyer and I can be a sports agent, but it doesn't work like that.
Yeah,
There's a lot, is just an added advantage. So
yeah,
if you're a player agent and you know law, fantastic. If you're a lawyer who can understand the player, work around the player, it's a win-win. But there is a misunderstanding. I work with a lot of sports lawyers and they're really good at what they do, but I think there's a extra. So suppose if a sports lawyer comes and tells me, Abhishek, what should I know about athlete management, and there are times where I can go to a sports lawyer and say, just that added edge you have over me because you've done sports law, and
yeah.
things like that. But it's a very open ground. If you're a good sports lawyer, and if you understand the market, if you understand your assets, if you understand your players, if you understand the positioning that you want to put your player to, all of these things into consideration, you can really nail it.
Yeah, that's a very important message because even I came across my career, met so many aspiring sports lawyers, and they were willing to be a sports agent, but not understanding the business side of it. So yeah, it is
Yes,
really
yes.
important for
Yes,
people to know.
yes, yes, because it just can't be that legal term or the legal way of doing things, which is the most professional and the right way. But you have to understand market, business. There has to be some emotional intelligence. People have to be smart about connecting with the athlete. So I think that is the catch that is there in between. Yeah.
Yeah, so we just recently had a live session with PRC Sports, and
Yeah.
from that conversation, I have posted one reel regarding aspects of sports agent, what characteristics it should have. So it had a business acumen, so I could
Of
relate to it.
course. Of
Yeah.
course, you need to have a business acumen because ultimately it just comes down to how you value a certain player. What do you think a position of a certain player will be? And along with that comes the market value and the different types of positioning that you can give to a certain athlete. You know, if I know an athlete's caliber is from ground level to around five, that's his maximum. So that is how much I can push it to, you know.
Yeah.
Or if there is a superstar athlete who you know and you connect and you know this is like a superstar athlete, and he can be a brand or she can be a brand. That's where that's a different take of positioning the player as well. So business acumen, again, you know, I think TRP guys were right, so it's really important.
So, as you said, that understanding that this athlete can be at this level or something on the lines of that, how is the scouting process like in India for different sports?
Uh, Very interesting question. See, when I got into player management and things like that, there is a scouting process that happens, at least because I was more focused into football. I did come across, you know, people, good scouts, very good coaches, and I would request them because they are the ones who are day to day working with the younger athlete every day. And a lot of people get this wrong. You know, the idea of sports agent in India is so new that people get it so wrong. Is like they think, suppose there's a certain player who's really good in a certain sport, or let's take it cycling. Okay, I'll give you an example. There's a national champion who's an international player as well, who's very good, the Indian boy. So when we approach to them in terms of saying that we want to take care, being your agent and being the agency on board that takes care of your marketing rights, your commercial rights, your exclusivity, everything that is to do with you off the field. A lot of people don't understand this. Is they think, you know, coach is an agent. You know,
Yeah.
they get it wrong, and they always, because these kids have worked with coaches so tightly, you know, since the
Yeah.
age of maybe 8. By the time he's 17, 18, he's spent over a decade with the coach. So the coach is the part of the family. But that's where we reach out in India and speak to these people, saying that, you know, the coach's job is what has to be technically right, which is on ground. So I never go to a player, whoever I work with, be it Sumit or someone in gymnastics or someone else. I never go inside and say, you know, you should kick the ball like this, or you should do rhythm gymnastics with this, or you know, you should do this in cycling, because that's not my expertise. You know, I'm not the technical person, but off the field is where I and my team comes into place, where we are evaluating the player. What are the types of sponsors we can get for the player? What is the type of growth in 4 to 5 years that I see for an 18-year-old by the time he's 23? So like I was saying, you know, so we take care of things off the field, and the coaching staff should take care of inside the field, because this is a new industry. Everybody, when they hear sports agent, they are like, oh, sports agent, what does that mean? You know
Yeah.
uska matlab kya hota hai, you know. So that has been one misconception, that, you know, all the other people who want to be sports agents or coaches who are listening to me, or young players who are listening to me, your coaches are like your family members for sure, but they are the people who are technically going to guide you. You know, they are
Yeah.
not the people who are going to guide you off the field. We are the people who's going to guide you off the field, and you know, help you grow from a certain level, to another level. And of course, the performance is a contribution of a team. So it's never about one individual. It's about the coaching staff, it's about the management staff, it's about the entire team together. And that's why there is a superstar which comes out. You know, it's not one person, it's a team behind them. Scouting in India is not a structured element, coming back to what we were saying, but it is forming into a structure slowly. So for me, the scouting has been either I have good connections with certain state level coaches, or certain FAs that I work with, or the federations that are involved. So we build a connection with them. We see the talent that is being produced over there, and speak to the coaches on day-to-day basis or weekly basis to see the progress of a certain player. Because that's where you get to know the psyche of the player. Who's gonna be the long term asset. Who's going to develop into a mega star. So you have to have some instincts, like when you get a player, there has to be a feeling. I'm one of those who, if I get that instinct, and if I think, इसके साथ कुछ हो सकता है, or we could do something, we usually do it. So for scouting, this is the situation. It's not structured. It's getting structured. Khelo Games has become a very interesting platform now.
Yeah.
For people to look at younger athletes. So I'm very happy with the ministry, with the Khelo Games management, and the entire prospect of it. Like, it's not the best, but at least we're moving in the right direction. At least in the next 10 years, it'll be a more structured sort of a thing where maybe if a young agent wants to come, or a young a company, or maybe an old company, be it whatever, they have a lot of data. They can do a lot of scouting. They can speak to the coaches. They can speak to the state federation and, come across these people.
Yeah. Where did you pursue your sports management master?
When I was doing my sports management masters, there were just two institutes in India that were having courses. One was in West Bengal, Indian Institute of Social Science and Welfare, I think. I'm not really sure. And there was International Institute of Sports Management in Mumbai. So I happened to be from IISM.
Okay. And another question is from Praful. Uh, what's the future in Indian football culture according to your perspective after the ISL?
What is the culture? See, I think Indian football is on the rise. I think it's going to grow in another 5 years to 10 years. I think we'll be in a very good stage. Grassroots development in football is happening at a massive rate. Kids are now connecting to football, and football can now become a complete profession. Earlier it was dicey. If I go 10 years back, also it was a little dicey, where you're not really sure, is the athlete going to be very successful? Can they make enough money? Can they sustain themselves and things like that? But now I think we're moving the right way and things like that. And the ISL has been a very good platform for a lot of young talent that they've promoted, and overall as a league compared to what it was before. So ISL just opened doors around the globe for people to look at Indian football, and that is a massive advantage.
Okay. Uh,
And there is scope for improvement though. So it's not that they are at the best, but there is a scope of improvement. Again, I think we can't do a 2-3 year plan. It has to be a 10-year plan for football to reach at that level.
yeah. And that's really right. And the last one we'll take is, as a agent, have you ever given a personal counseling to your athlete facing mental issues?
Sometimes, but I'm not an expert on mental issue. Um, Sometimes I've just had a very personal conversation, especially with the younger athletes, um, because decision making at that age can be very crucial. So it's a very vulnerable sort of a situation. I've been that age myself, so I understand, and they are still more calmer. I would be raging at that age. So they are a lot more calmer and things like that. So I've had one-on-one talks and things like that, but I always recommend them to a professional, because
Yeah.
this is not what I do professionally. But I hear all my players out. any day. I'm not one of those who like to work with 50 athletes, because that's not how I work, or that's not my team strength. You know, we rather work with a small bunch of people, and give them personal attention and work with them, instead of having lots of them, and then having a bad breakup maybe later on. Yeah, so I'm not a fan of that. I stick to all my players. I hear them out no matter what the issue is, and there for them. So it happens with the younger ones, even happens with the older ones as well. But you got to be there for your people,
Yeah.
and that's how it is. You have to be there for your people, and it's like how even friends are there. So you always stand up for your friends and things like that, no matter what the situation is. Somewhat like that for professionals as well, because that is that emotional connect that you have with them.
While talking itself, we can see how much you're emotionally and professionally connected with your athlete. So
Yes.
we all know that you have a company named Athletes Today. So if you could tell us what are the different verticals your company works on?
Yeah, sure. See, I started Athletes Today, especially that I wanted to work with players. Before starting that, I used to work with this some agency. I'm not going to name. And I was hired there to do sports marketing and doing something, and then developing a talent management program in the later year, which would be funded by that agency, and for me to lead it. That was the plan. Initially, that was there. But they didn't understand what I was doing. I'm very intense about sports. It's not a joke for me, but I'm very intense about my work, and I take it very seriously. So they didn't really understand, because what happens is, especially in Bombay, and when you work with talent and athlete management, maximum people get it wrong because they think someone's worked with some singer or some Bollywood celebrity, and they think it's the same, uh,
Yeah.
which is it's definitely not. It's not the same at all. Okay, there's a massive difference between camera, off camera, live performance, and that
Correct.
adrenaline, and things like that. I can write an entire book on it. How is it different and how is it better. Um, so that was their thinking. It didn't align with my thinking. There's a very famous world tennis player who I happened to sign with this agency that I was involved with before. And again, I'm not going to name her. So I signed her, and this agency that I used to work with had no idea who she was, and I was surprised, and I was like, wow. So okay, and that's when I, the Athletes Today idea came in, and I said, let me give it a shot. I never thought I would be an entrepreneur, for sure. Never thought that I would go this way. If someone asked me, would you go this way, I'm not really sure. So things happen, and I happen to also be around friends who were entrepreneurs. I had happened to be, right place, right time, sort of a thing. So it just happened for me like that, and Athletes Today happened. And so we started with athlete management. Then we got into sponsorship for players, maybe franchises, maybe for the league. We built a good connection, and we fairly done well for ourselves. So sponsorship came as the second element. The third is we started doing grassroots events. So grassroots development is the future of sports, and I'm very passionate about it. Because
Yeah.
how would I say, like, if you don't build the sports culture from a very young age, India is not going to become a sporting nation. Let's be honest about it. So I think grassroots development is must, and the future of sports in India, be it football, hockey, cricket, pick up any sport that you want. So we got into that, and we, with the team that I have, we loved it. The experience is thrilling. to see 5 to 10 year olds coming and playing, and things like that. So it's a lot of fun for us as well, and it makes us happy. And this is what we wanted to do. And so these are like the three verticals that we have: sponsorship, player management, grassroots events. Not just any event that we do, just grassroots events is our focus and our passion to be doing it, because we aren't a very technical event management sort of a company, but we are more like, if you talk about the grassroots and things like that, so that is something that we enjoy. And another division that we're trying to build on is sports licensing. So we want to make this vertical grow in the long term, and maybe take baby steps for now to see how we can expand it and make it bigger. That's been our goal, and that's what we do.
Like you said, even we believe that grassroots has to grow in India to be a sporting nation.
Exactly.
So, as you mentioned that you work for sponsorship for many athletes and many clubs as well. So, what is the best way, according to your experience, to get a sponsorship for any athlete?
See, for athlete, no, the sponsorship has to come into multiple aspects of what the athlete wants and what the brand wants. Then only the marriage can happen. And what my philosophy of working is, I never sign like a 1 month deal or a one Instagram post, or like a deal like that. So like I said, for entertainment artists, maybe singers, maybe actors, maybe aspiring people, whoever in the entertainment segment, their approach can be that. But for players, I at least suggest to my players is, I work on a long term deal,
Yeah.
and I understand what are the qualities of my players, what are the hobbies of my players, what do my players enjoy, what is their preference, what do they eat, where do they work out, what music they listen to, so you have to know all of these things, and then find the right match for the player, and then make the synergy happen. And what is also very important is, because I don't do a one time thing with a brand, because we want to do a minimum 2 to 3 year contracts. So what happens is, even if I work with a brand, the brand also feels very satisfied. Like they feel satisfied having my player on board, and the brand is on board, and then it leaves like a very good experience for both of them. So, and that's how it's supposed to work. I don't know what the other people do. Whatever they do, I'm very happy for whatever works for whoever. But our philosophy has always been like this, that we work on long term contracts, and we understand what the brand wants, we understand what our player wants, and what is the time. And we don't really call it sponsorship, we call it more like a partnership, because both have to give in to it. It's just not, एक मेरा player आया, one of my player comes, does a photo shoot, stands with the product, or does something, goes back, and it's over. And it has to be both of us involved. It has to be the brand also putting that much effort, my player putting that much effort, brand making sure that the visibility of my player is very high as well. Because what happens is, a brand can sign a talent, and they might do some shoot or some activity or something like that, and 6 months or 1 year later they sign another talent, and they will do some sort of an activity like that. But what we try doing is, when our athlete and the brands are working together, we make it a point that the brand is also investing on the visibility of the athlete. What is the marketing that the brand is doing for my player. If they're signing my player, if you're signing a superstar, you need to know that you have a superstar with you.
But
No
yeah,
problem.
but you rightly said that understanding players what they like, and uh, having the partnership with any brand, because without understanding players won't give their 100% for the brand.
Correct.
So yeah,
Correct. So
yeah,
so so yeah, exactly. So understanding what the player wants, what they like, what do they stand for also. a lot of my players, they're socially active about things that are around. Some people are very careful towards animals. Some people are very careful towards climate change. What is their thought process and things like that. So all of this has to be into consideration when we sign. And of course, one of the most important things also is the valuation and the money. So
Yeah,
yes, of course, yes.
that's the
So
most important.
yes. So apart from everything else, also yes, yes, yes. But it's not. It's just not always about the money for us as well. So it's not that we do some shitty deal and make a quick buck out of it, and that's not our way to do things. That's how we are. Yeah.
Yeah. So, how is the sponsorship like when it comes to football and as compared to some other sports like rhythmic gymnastics and cycling, hockey? How is the
Uh,
sponsorship process like?
it's different because again, depending on the sport, football is more of a team sport. Football is growing in India. It's I, what I would be really honest. See, I'm from Calcutta. I'm from West Bengal. I'm born brought up in West Bengal, who's now settled in Mumbai, and who's been out. But for me growing up, football, you're surrounded by football, so it was that
Yeah,
big always. But when I moved to a different state, then only to then realize that it's a different passion too. So football has like it has resurfaced again, and it's a team sport. So the sponsorship for that is very different than to be compared to maybe a individual sport. Maybe rhythmic gymnastics is like a individual performance based as well. Apart from like a team. So it changes, the valuation changes, the brand screening that we do changes, the approach towards a certain brand also changes, and that's how it is. So if I give you an example, like two important things that we've done, for like uh, a Gurpreet Singh Sandhu, when we worked and we did something with Puma, which was our partnership that we cracked and we got this through. So Puma is with BFC already. Puma is probably one of the biggest brands in India currently who's doing well. They've really changed the scenario in the Indian market. And Gurpreet was the first superstar that they had in the football line. Before anybody else jumped in, Gurpreet was the biggest superstar and the first superstar that they got in football. So that was again, like I said, no, the marriage has to be made really well.
yeah,
So it worked out. Puma is really happy. GS is really happy, and they are already with BFC. GS is with BFC. So it
yeah,
just worked out very well. So that was a thing, like maybe with Puma and the sponsorship that we had. And when you talk about, so I worked with this very special and a very talented girl called Meghna Reddy.
yeah,
She is a rhythmist gymnastic, and she's popular. Her parents are the most dedicated parents I've ever seen. Wow, like if every parent was like that in India, I'm sure India would be producing Olympians, and would be champions and things like that. And the commitment that the parents have for her. So I happened to work with her, and we cracked a iconic deal which has never happened in India with one of the biggest brands in the world called Mattel Toys. We cracked a deal with Mattel Toys and their line of product called Barbie. And Barbie
yeah,
India had a campaign called "You Can Be Anything." So Meghna was a perfect fit because Barbie is trying to position and get to and reach out to younger girls nowadays, where it's not about you just looking pretty and you just doing things. They wanted to change that sort of a thing. So that's where Meghna came into play. Now a young girl can look at a Barbie and also do gymnastics.
yeah.
So this was beautifully done, and this was one of the most iconic sponsorship that we've ever cracked through. And I was very very happy because not every day you get to work with Mattel Toys and Sports.
Yeah.
So you who would have thought that Barbie is going to be doing something in sports? Globally it happens, but it doesn't happen in India, and we cracked it through. So a lot of respect and a lot of courage shown by the Mattel team, and I would forever vouch for them for bringing this change about, because the younger girls now can hold a Barbie and think of doing gymnastics or think of doing
Yeah.
something different, and
Yeah.
that was really beautiful. Yeah. So that's how sponsorship works. Yeah, different brands like Mattel Toys wouldn't be doing anything with GS or in
Yeah.
football or things like that. So you understand what I mean, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's how it's different. Different brands, different athletes, depending on the sport, and that's how we go to a company or a brand, and that's how we make the approach for sponsorship. And like I said, more than sponsorship, I like the word partnership. It has to
Yeah.
align to be together. Yes.
Yeah. So, from your experience of so long, what would you suggest for upcoming sports agent or any career advice in India?
Uh, uh, Work, build a network, chase your passion. I am also fortunate and lucky that I knew what I wanted to do. I Yeah, I think I've just been fortunate and a little bit lucky, and I'm very humble about how things have just panned out for me and my company. So I think what they should do is, I think, work, build a good network, understand players, understand the sport, chase a certain sport that you don't know about, and then build it from there. And that's the right way of going about it. Work with the younger players maybe more. Work with coaches, work with scouts, build your network, and maybe you'll find that one star that you've been waiting for, and that's how it's going to work. So it's not going to happen overnight. There's a lot of struggle behind it as well, because there are times where the journey can be very, you can be alone in this entire journey, because it's very tiring. You have to get across and know a lot of people, and you have to see a lot of talent, and there are times where there are good talents but may not be for you. There are times where the talent is not good enough, but you are very personally involved with the talent, where you have to put it across to them saying, dude, uh, I think you and I are, of course, I'm telling you as a friend or as a client or XYZ, but the career is very different for you. So to that transition and that emotional intelligence that one needs to have only comes with experience. So they should just network and work with people. That's how it's going to come.
Thank you so much for joining and sharing your vast knowledge in the field.
My pleasure.
We are
My
really
pleasure.
delighted to have you. We just have two questions from our followers and end the session if you
Sure.
don't mind.
Sure. Absolutely.
One of the questions is your opinion on the newer platform of sports, namely esports.
Esports are, I think esports is the future, no doubt. I think during this lockdown, I also cracked my brains enough to figure out, can I start an esports venture? Can I work? Can we form an entity? Can we do this? Esports is the future, no doubt. And it's a growing platform in India. So for sure, I think the future of esports is big. It's anyway globally very popular. In India, is just kicking in, and now I think we are moving beyond things like Candy Crush and things like that, which is also very different. So I think the seriousness of esports is going to grow, and I think there are lots of talented e-gamers in India too. So
Yeah.
don't be surprised that in maybe sometime we might be working with um, esports athletes who are, yeah, why not? because
Yeah.
because I think, I think I think they are really talented, and I think that's the future. And that's why I think a lot of Indian e-gamers can showcase their talent. So that yeah, that's my thought behind it.
Okay, and the last question is, how does a contract with an athlete looks like? What service sports agent provide?
This is very technical, so I don't think so I can tell you what the contract
Yeah,
looks like. So it's very technical. But again, it's best if you're trying it out for the first time, get a good lawyer, speak to them, have a conversation with your athlete, introduce the athlete. The athlete should also understand the contract.
yeah,
I've had funny stories a lot of times where I was traveling in some part of India and had gone to scout a certain player, where I had heard from a certain coach that this player is exceptional, and I saw the player as well. The player was exceptional, and I was like, wow, okay, if this boy can get the right get the right training and the right mental attitude and the right support. He can really turn into a very special player. So I remember, because the athlete was a minor, so I spoke to my legal team. I got a contract ready to get it signed by the parent and everything. I went to the parents. The parents were very humble people, very sweet people. They were farmers. Okay, so this was in a village where I've gone and scouted. Okay, and they were farmers, and they really connected. So I also made my legal team talk to them, because they would guide them as well. Because see, it's
yeah,
very important. Everything is on. It's on a trust relationship based. It's based on honesty and things like that. These are our values. So they spoke to them, and when I went with the contract and I tried giving them the contract, they freaked out, and they said no. And then I get to know that they were thinking that I'm trying to acquire their land. Uh, you know, you know,
yeah. I can
like,
understand. Yeah,
yeah. So it like I was really shocked. I was like, what? And then someone put it across to me saying, this is how it is. They are very innocent
yeah,
people. So if I go with some massive legal paperwork and मैंने 15 पेज
yeah,
का कॉन्ट्रैक्ट दे दिया है उनको, and then they
yeah,
don't know anything, and so they think, like, you give them a legal paper, they think you're trying to take their land or their property, or things like that.
yeah.
So it was a very funny experience for me. I had to really understand, okay, that's how maybe things work, and it's fine, and I have to take it. So yeah, that was my experience with it.
Just out of curiosity, one last question. So how does it feel like working with elite athletes?
Initially, it was you get that feeling, because I have been a sportsman myself. Not a professional one, but I know what how things are. So initially it was like, wow, nice, but it's very casual. Yeah, they're like my friends. They are people that I chat with. They are people who I share music with, or if I watch a good film or something like that, have a lovely conversation, because they also want that,
Yeah,
because when they are around so many people, so every other person jumping, sir, big fan, big fan, big fan, so
yeah,
sometimes it can be very overwhelming for them, but they also they need a friend, they need someone they are comfortable with, and things like that. So I don't put too much pressure on them. I'm more casual, and I'm very uh, okay about it. There are times that people have even come to me and said, oh, sir, or something like that, and I just get like, no, it's fine, let's just have a casual chat, and see how things are through. So players are also like that, man. They're very simple people. They're nice. If you show them a lot of love and respect, they will do the same for you. Because these are people who've given up so much, man. When a star is made, that today that this person is a star, but you don't know the
how
years. Yes, the years that have gone behind, the sacrifices and things like that. So, so yeah, that's how it is. So to any fans reaching out to any of our players or any sportsmen, just be humble, just be very supportive, and things like that, and stand by them, know them, and that's how these people are going to grow. That's how this scene is going to, we are going to look beyond cricket maybe, and that's how it's going to happen. If everyone is so cricket crazy also, they should look beyond, and they should find out, who's the young upcoming tennis player, who's going to be the next badminton player, who's going to be the next big footballer. So this is where the support comes in. When a younger player
Yeah.
gets to know that, people know about what I'm doing, my contributions, they feel there is some sort of encouragement that they get, like, and because it's a little biased with cricket as well, a Ranji player is known by
Yeah.
everybody. What I mean. So
Yeah.
yeah, so that, but now it's changing. I'm very very happy. I'm very happy that it's changing. If you go to youngsters right now, most of them would say, I want to be a PV Sindhu, I want to be a Mary Kom, I want to be a Gurpreet Singh Sandhu. So that's what people want. It's no more, everybody wants to be a Tendulkar, or everybody wants to be a Dada or something like that. Now it's completely changed. People want to, I've walked up and I've seen 10-12 year old girls saying, I want to be a boxer, and you have a
Wow.
smile on your face, yeah, and you're like, wow, that is cool. I want to be like a Sushila Chanu. I want to play hockey.
Wow.
Things like that. So I think there's a psychological change that is coming into the Indian parents as well, and the kids as well. With the grassroots development and the initiative that is there.
Thank you so much. Thanks a lot for
Yes,
sharing and
my
being
pleasure.
having a chat with us.
Yes, my pleasure. Exploring sports is a good platform. These are young people trying to do something different and new, so you guys should support them as well. And I'm happy to connect, and forever anybody beyond this live session also wants to reach out, then feel free to reach out to me. Not a problem.
Thanks a lot. Have a
Yes,
great
my
day.
pleasure.
Yeah.
Yes, you too, guys. See you guys. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye.